Hey everyone, welcome to Yoga with Maria. I'm Maria and today we're practicing yoga for lower back pain and we're doing it in the mountains of Park City, Utah. So grab your mat, grab 2 blocks for this practice. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any new updates, and let's get started. All right everyone, come to your mat, have your 2 blocks. You could substitute with a kind of a cushy pillow if you needed to. We're gonna start out in a seated position. So come to sit down. And we're going to find Badaknasana. So the soles of the feet touch. Keep the hands behind you here for a little support. The knees go wide. Yeah, and then just find a little length in the sides of the waist. If you feel like you're really collapsing in the pelvis, you can place a little pillow or a block underneath the seat. And just close the eyes for a moment here and take your attention to the low back. Just honoring that place of the body, especially if you are in pain right now. And just know that everything that I'm offering in this video, in this practice, are merely suggestions and just a reminder that you are the operator and owner of your body. So if something feels like it's too much, it probably is. Yeah, so then just scale it back or come out of it completely. The low back is a place that we don't want to irritate further. And I certainly wouldn't want anyone to have more pain after doing some practices. So take this really easy, listen to your body, and kind of commit to that here in this seat, and then we'll get started. You're going to take your left knee over towards your right. So the left ankle is going to sit in the arch of the right foot. The knees are not going to stack exactly on top of one another. And then any amount, you're just going to walk the hands over to the right. Your gaze can come to the right as well if there's no strain in the neck. Yeah, breathing in. Breathing out. Kind of keep an eye out for what does feel good for your back here. And those are things that you can come back to. Come back to center, find Badaknasana, so bring the soles of the feet to touch again. And then we're going to go the other side. So the right knee comes towards the left. The ankle of the right foot sits right in the arch of the left foot. And then the hands walk over to the left any amount again. And the gaze can follow and go to the left as well. Only if there's no strain in the neck. Yeah, and then just enjoy the sights and the sounds of this video. Probably can hear the birds. And then come back to center. Soles of the feet come back to touch. Yeah, and then we're going to take the hands to the feet if it's available for you. And the smallest amount, I want you just to reach the chest a little bit forward. The chin kind of reaches out over the toes just a bit here. Yeah, and you can kind of shake the head no and open and close the mouth if you're starting to feel tension. Notice how this feels in the back. And then come back to center. Take the hands to the outer knees, scoop them together, and just step the feet just a bit away from your seat. Catch behind the knees. There's the sun. And roll yourself onto your back. So bring the head and the shoulders all the way to the back here. And then we're just going to play with bringing the knees into the chest. So give that a try. Knees come in towards the chest. Hands can come to the shins. This is likely, too much, might be too much for some of us. If that's you, take the hands to the top of the kneecaps and let the knees hang a little further away from the chest. Wherever you are, you can stay still if that feels right, or you can take little circles with the knees. Just choose one direction and start to make little easy circles. We're not trying to, again, jam the low back into anything or like force it to release. This is a patient practice. And then if you're taking circles, go ahead and take them the opposite way in either kind of position here. Very nice. And then find a little pause in the middle and take the feet back down to the mat. So the feet are going to be hip width distance. You'll have a little space between the inner edges of either foot, maybe 2, 3, 4 inches. No need to look, just know that the feet are a little bit apart here. And then you're going to reach your right leg up towards the sky or the ceiling and interlace the hands behind the thigh bone, right where the hamstring is, yeah. And then go ahead and take a little bend of the knee, and you can flex the foot on the way down and straighten the leg and point the toe. You can add the foot if you want, not mandatory here. We're just kind of pumping some blood into the legs. So take a few more, bending the knee, and straightening the leg. The next time you straighten it, keep it straight, and you can find a little activation in the foot. So for some of us that might feel good to flex, you might want to point the toe or somewhere in between. From here, lift the head and the shoulders. Yeah, you're going to bring the belly online a little bit and walk the hands up the leg any amount. So it might be a centimeter, an inch, maybe you reach for the calf. Again, no strain here. Breathing in, breathing out, and then walk the hands back down the leg. Find the ground with the back of the head, and then bend the knee a little bit into the chest and release the foot down to the mat. We're just going to take the other side. Left leg reaches up towards the ceiling or sky. Heel reaches up. Yeah, and then interlace the fingers behind the thigh bone or where the hamstring is. Try to take the opposite interlacing. And then bend the knee and flex the foot. Straighten out the leg and point the toe. A couple more here. Bend the knee and straighten. Yeah, adding the foot only if it feels good. And then straighten the leg. Find activation in the foot, either a flex foot, pointed, or somewhere in between. Use the belly a little bit to lift the head and the shoulders up. It'll create a little bit of slack in your arms probably, and you can move the hands up the leg any amount. There's no need to make it look exactly like mine does. You can move the hands up an inch, a centimeter, even a millimeter is fantastic. Breathing in. Breathing out, walk the hands back down and find the ground with the back of the head and the shoulders. And then you can hug the left knee into the chest. And release the foot down to the mat. Very nice. Feel the feet on the ground just for a moment. And then you're going to lift the knees up and take the hands behind the backs of the knees. This time you'll lift the head and the chest up again. So you're finding a little C curve in the back. And then this will create a nice shape for us to roll forward and back. If this is not working for you, let the knees fall to one side, and we're all going to meet sitting up, and then we'll cross the ankles and come to hands and knees. So get to your hands and knees, all fours, any way that works for you. This is not necessarily a one-size-fits-all practice. Yeah. So stack the shoulders over the wrists, the hips are over the knees, and we're just going to take some gentle cat-cows. So on your breath in, let the belly drop down. The chest just reaches slightly through the arms. The chin lifts a bit here. Tail lifts. Exhale, press through the hands and the feet. Try not to make this your biggest, baddest cat-cow. Just using this as another way to listen to the body. Yeah. Exhale, you're puffing the back. Really kind of see if you can let the head go all the way. One more time. Really tuning in. If closing the eyes helps you do that, be my guest. And then find your way back to a neutral position. From here, walk the hands a little bit forward. You're going to tuck the toes behind you and then just lower onto your belly. Come up onto the forearms, a little Sphinx pose here. So you can keep the elbows right underneath the shoulders, or you can walk the elbows a little bit forward. What we are looking for is for the forearms to be parallel. So a lot of times the hands want to come in and we make like more of a triangle shape. Keep them on this kind of railroad track shape. And then the legs are long behind you, inner legs pull together. So again, just finding a little space for the low back. You can have a little gentle pull. If you pull back with the hands, you're not really moving them so much. It's an isometric movement. But that'll create a little bit more space in between each of the vertebrae of the spine, but it'll translate to the low back as well. The legs are a little active here. Very nice. And then just for a moment, if you can, we're going to pull the elbows back underneath the shoulders. So if you are forward, bring them back, and then you're going to tuck the toes behind you. Begin to fire up the legs. A little work here. Press through the legs, press through the forearms, and lift the belly and the hips. We're in a forearm plank. Press down through the forearms and the hands. See if you can, and then pull the belly in towards the spine. So we're working on those muscles that wrap our whole torso. They support the low back too. Keep looking at the fingers. One more breath in and out. Take the knees down to the mat and put the handprint down. Very, very nice. Come to the fingertips and find that in the belly again. Lift yourself up to stand on the knees. Very nice. Take the hands to the low back. So the kind of like heel of the hand will come right to the top of the buttock flesh. The knees are a little bit apart here. And you can just make little circles with the hands. That might feel really nice for some of us. Yeah, finding circles both ways. And then pull the elbows back towards one another. Wiggle the sides of the waist long. Go ahead and let the sternum float. And as that happens, the chin lifts as well. Just a very baby Ustrasana or Camel Pose. Stay with your breath in. Try not to hold the breath. On the breath out, just bring the gaze back to even or level. Very nice. Hands come to the waist now, and you're just going to step your right foot forward. Let the hips sink down, and then you'll just let the torso spill over the top of the front leg, and the hands will come to the mat. If the hands don't reach the mat, that's where your blocks come in. Put one block underneath each hand, and then just let the hips kind of sink down towards the floor. So we're going to start to kind of explore some of the muscular areas and skeletal areas around the low back. Just remembering that the whole body is kind of connected here. Yeah, you can even let the head hang heavy or take the gaze down. Do anything you need to do to release tension. So if you need to open and close the mouth, maybe even shrug the shoulders a few times. Yeah. From here, look forward a bit and take the finger pads to the floor, just creating a little bit more space, or maybe the hands come to blocks. And then if you do have blocks, you're going to bring the blocks with you and shift the hips back into a little half split. The right toes will come towards the face or towards the knee. No need to straighten this right leg all the way here. Wiggle the sides of the waist long on your inhale, and then exhale, you'll do a little fold over the right leg. Half split, half Konasana. Staying with the breath here. And look forward again. From here, just bend the right knee so that the foot's on the mat and lift yourself back up. Right knee comes back down next to the left. So you're standing on the knees once again. And if this is pretty sensitive on the knees, no big deal to put a towel or a blanket underneath the knees for a little extra support. Hands come back to the low back, or that flesh at the top of the buttocks. Yeah, and then you could do that little massage again, one way and then the other. Take it really gentle and really kind of a loving massage. Avoiding that, maybe the tendency or the want to do like a deep tissue type of thing. Keep it simple. Elbows reach back. Wiggle the sides of the waist long. Let the sternum float, and the chin will float or lift as well. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathe in. And then release. Just take the gaze level. Hands come to the waist. And you're just going to step the left foot forward, bend through the left knee, hips shift forward, and then the torso just comes to lay on the top of the left leg. Yeah, we're back in this kind of lazy Anjaneyasana shape. Once again, the hands can come to blocks if they don't reach the floor. The head can kind of fall heavy here. Staying with the breath. Yeah, and you might feel this in the front of the right leg. A little bit of a psoas release. Come back to the fingertips of the hands. Look forward. Maybe if you have your blocks, they're going to come with you. Begin to shift the hips back, and this left leg will get a lot longer. Bring the left toes in towards the face or towards the knee. And then no need to straighten this leg out or lock it out completely. You can keep a little bend in the knee. Look forward and kind of extend through the sides of the torso. And then you'll let yourself fold a little bit over the leg. Keeping ourselves soft here. Keeping our mindset in a loving, compassionate, gentle mindset. Yeah, and maybe to shake the head no can kind of help soften a little bit. And then look forward. Bend through your left knee. Just make sure that that left foot is solid on the mat. Wiggle it there, and then you're going to lift yourself up. and bring your left knee back down next to your right. From here, the hands come forward, and we're gonna tuck our toes and find a downward facing dog. The hips are gonna lift. If you're feeling really sore or tight in the low back, go ahead and shorten your down dog. And everybody keep a nice bend in the knees here. Press through the hands, and the belly will kind of naturally pull up and in. The head can fall heavy. Just shake the head no. Open and close the mouth. So nice. And then walk the hands back a few handprints and walk the feet forward. Keep a nice big bend in the knees. We're coming to a standing forward fold. Let's keep a little space between the toes here. And again, if the hands feel really far from the ground, let's take a block. And then we're just gonna really gently and easily fold over the legs. Keep a nice bend in the knees if you need. Maybe the hands come to the floor. Maybe they come to the block. Head goes all the way heavy. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then stay here, or you can catch opposite elbows in kind of a ragdoll shape and shake side to side, or not shake, but just sway really gently and easily, really softly here, front to back maybe. And then take the hands to the mat or to your blocks. Heel toe the feet together, and you're gonna sit the hips low. The knees are gonna go wide into a little yogi squat. So let the heels sink down towards the floor. The seat will sink down towards the floor too. Yeah, you're gonna feel a little stretch in the low back. Hands come forward. If this is too much, hands can stay up. So this is gonna be where it becomes more intense or less intense, is in how far you reach the hands. Yeah. And then if this feels okay, the hands reach forward as the heels sink down towards the floor. Head kind of falls heavy here. Breathing in. Breathing out. You can kind of sway the knees side to side, towards the armpits, really slow, really gentle, just testing it out. Just kind of exploring the low back. Very, very nice. Take the hands back underneath the shoulders, so lift back up. And then we'll flip the tops of the feet to the mat. Swing the heels to your right, and then just come to sit down. And we're going to find our way back to our back for one more last little thing. Catch behind the knees and roll yourself down. Very nice. The knees will come back into the chest. Again, if this is too much, you're going to keep the feet on the floor. Otherwise, the knees are going to fall over towards the left, a supine twist. So this is one option. If the feet are on the floor, the knees are just going to fall over to the left. So choose your variation. Choose which version is not straining the low back. The gaze can go over to the right. So the arms are wide. And see if you can feel the body get a little bit heavier in towards the floor, towards your mat. The eyes can close, or the eyelids can get heavy here as we wind down. And then with control, with ease, move back to center. And then we'll take the knees to the right. So let the knees fall. The gaze can come to the left. Arms T as well. Look to the left here. Yeah, the knees are, they don't have to be exactly stacked, but they're kind of on the same plane this time. Yeah, in what ways can you soften? Bring the knees back to center, and then feel the soles of the feet on the mat. Heel toe the feet just wider than the hips. Let the knees knock in towards one another. And let's take the hands to the low belly. While you're here, slide the hands and just make sure there's a little space underneath the low back. So we want to maintain the curve in the low back here. Yeah, and then you could just take the hands and place them on the low belly, the pelvic belly. And just notice which points of the body are pressing through the floor or into the earth. Thank you so much for joining today for yoga for the lower back or for lower back pain. It's always a pleasure to have you. Can't wait to see you next time. Namaste, yogis. If you're looking for more ways to take care of yourself as a way to be more productive at work and at home, I work one-to-one with women to do just that, using the tools of yoga, meditation, and mindset work. Ultimately, I help women move into leadership roles at work and get promoted without burning out. If this is interesting to you at all, head to my website at marialoida.com and send me a message to set up your free consultation call so we can find out if this work is right for you. See you soon.